Some of them.
That was one of the rules we passed, was we wanted everything to have a record and people to be able to attend via Zoom because
You wouldn't know what good stuff was.
You would think of that tree, I was like, "Oh, try to get it on," and it said meeting in progress.
Okay.
What happened?
So you couldn't. You couldn't add to them. And so what we did is we just ran all the
In 2 months, right?
I would say sometimes with the county board ones, we have, when you try to, when we would try to get on there to find the agendas and stuff, you'd have to actually go all the way to the county page and come in to
But
get our
that's what I
stuff.
was doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't even changing it off the notice, I was going to the town calendar and clicking on the date.
Yeah.
So, and it appeared that there was another meeting that was in progress, so it wasn't letting me in on that one. It's 16.
Well, that wouldn't last.
Yes.
Chair. Yeah. You,
Yeah, you're in trouble.
okay, that's all right, as happened before. I have an opening, like cover letter, should everybody want one?
Is
No,
it,
we have. Need 6 of them. But just hold off until the public. Okay.
I'm set.
He said he's got
See, I've
that.
even got the date, June 10th. I'm all set.
You're good. That's the way to do it.
Tom was here laughing while I was looking through my little screenshot of the dates.
They just asked what was up there. What date is it?
June 10th. June tomorrow.
Yeah, I just did a screenshot of the, so then I just blow it up and yeah.
There's
Go by clock or go by. Okay. Yeah, the watch goes off my phone. That's why I was asking.
Oh, yeah.
Clock's right up there, right up in the corner.
Have you ever been trained? Somebody will tell us about it. I don't know if you remember seeing that in your mail or not, but. You can do it as a professional, you know, just because you're going to the state. Do you have a drainage board in the town?
First time actually. It's the drainage board is, the district is 3 townships.
I don't talk quite as loud since I have the speaker right in front of me, or the mic in front of me.
Do we just keep moving it down to the last person that falls off the table?
You're the quietest, you're the quietest one anyways.
I would start out not wanting to talk.
I don't know how much you are into farming.
I wouldn't grow up in a farm.
Okay. That requires- We're supposed to, if somebody wants to replace. What you call Marvin has to get approved by this drainage. And if the.
Your wife missed her job or?
Discharge.
She's coming back now for a few days. We have so many days you can't go no matter what, even if they're short. But so she's gonna go back. Is it next week? Just to help them out.
Yeah.
That's through the state. So they want to go on vacation or whatever.
But she'll come back here to the county.
But she can't go anyways.
Yeah.
She's a state employee, so.
So who is not in a drainage district?
Well, the only drainage district in the county is the Larson drainage district.
Why is that? Just because of water flow?
What about like with like some Queen on Van Dyke Creek? Would that be a drainage as opposed to?
No, that's not a drainage district. The drainage district is specifically, it's like its own governing entity.
Okay.
And this Larson drainage district was set up, initially established in 1904.
Oh, really? Wow.
And it's the only one in town.
That's interesting.
What'd you do?
Rotator cuffs.
And it's,
Do you tell your wife?
No.
It's got a lot of, pretty bad one.
Was that, is it like last decade, several decades?
well, these ones, we want some. And we're just finding out about them.
Yeah, of course.
Like clockwork, is they're putting on the
Farmers that are just, they're just.
Sometimes.
And they should be.
Like,
Well, the whole drainage thing is
we've got a
interesting
pencil.
subject.
Good evening. My name is John Hins. I'm the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Committee. I represent District 21, which consists of the south side of the city of Oshkosh along Lake Winnebago. In a moment, I will ask members of the committee to introduce themselves, and I will also ask the staff to introduce themselves and explain the appeals procedure. The hearing process is as follows. Please turn off or silence your cell phones. All testimony given is for the record. Please come forward when recognized, and you will be sworn in by the stenographer. When talking, please speak clearly so that all in attendance can hear what you have to say. When you are giving your testimony, please state that you are for or against the item that you are testifying about. The committee doesn't want conversations between members of the audience. If you feel the need to have a conversation with other individuals, we would ask that you please leave the room. If you have questions of a particular speaker, please come forward and ask your questions of the committee, and we will try to find out the answers for you. The committee will make its decision on June 10th. As with all county meetings, it is an open meeting. However, no additional testimony will be given at that time. This meeting is your one and only opportunity to present testimony for the record. The deliberative meeting is held on the third floor of the conference room of the City Administration Building on Otter Street. The meeting time is 7:30 a.m. Introductions.
I'm Mary Beth Gabbard. I represent District 12, which is a portion of the town of Oshkosh and a portion of the city of Oshkosh.
Evening, I'm Tom Egan. I represent District 33, which consists of the town of Rushford, a part of the town of Utica, Mepiescum, part of the city, part of the town of Amro, and town of Poigan.
I'm Howard Miller. I represent District 36, which is the town of Wolf River, town of Winchester, and the western half of Clayton.
I'm Shauna Sestera, District 32, part of Utica, Black Wolf, and McKenna.
I am Brian Rowe from the Planning and Zoning Department. The appeals procedure is as follows. 1, anyone wishing to appeal a decision relative to a conditional use permit needs to make that appeal within 30 days of the date of decision by this committee. 2, if you want to appeal a decision relative to a conditional use permit or protest a zoning change, please contact the zoning office during normal working hours and we can assist with that procedure.
Item 1, discussion and committee action on planning and zoning committee meeting dates and times.
Okay, it's discussion time, everyone. We know what we passed as far as the county board goes, and I think this is one of those things leading up to this that we wanted to make official. So this is our time to discuss. I'm not going to lead off by saying anything. If anyone wants to add anything.
Mr. Chairman, I like it the way it is, this meeting at 6:30 and then our other ones at 7:30 and 7:45. I feel as though that's a good time for everyone. The audience or whatever can speak at this meeting, and this is the only time that they can speak, but this is in the realm of that, what the county board had passed. So I feel as though we're meeting all things. We also got to remember that we got to have a stenographer, a court reporter at 2 of the meetings. So we also got to fit into their time schedules where they got to work. So I personally like these times.
I'll second that. I think the times are very good the way they are.
I agree.
Anybody else? Well, make it official then. All those in favor of keeping our meetings as they are set now, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I believe you need to make a motion. Second.
Yeah.
Okay,
Second,
okay.
Yep.
I missed that, sorry.
I don't know if I really said I made a motion. I just liked it, but he seconded it anyways.
You seconded it, I guess, so it's kind of.
We're there.
Sorry, I was getting it right. We were all on the same page for that one.
Okay, item 2. Application number 2022-CU-6000. Property owner Paul Lippold. Agent none, tax parcel 004-0906 and 004-0907. Location of premises 6441 South US Highway 45. Legal description being a part of lots 1 and 2 of Block B of the plat of Decorah, located in the southeast quarter of the northwest quarter, Section 28, Township 17 North, Range 17 East, Town of Black Wolf, Winnebago County, Wisconsin. Code reference, Chapter 23, Division 3, Section 23.8-41, Exhibit 8-1, Section 705. Description of proposed use. Applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to operate a vehicle sales and repair shop.
And at this time, we request that the applicant speak if you wish to. Come forward, it's sworn by the stenographer, state your name and address clearly, please.
You want a home address or business address?
Either one. Home.
All the whole,
Just.
Do your home address.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the statements you're going to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name and address.
Old 421 Crowfoot Ave, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
What is yours, Mr. Ritter?
All right. This letter is to serve as a guideline for our proposed CUP application for the above listed property. We're opening an automotive alignment shop with the inclusion of vehicle sales. We'll have 2 to 3 employees on site and are expecting about 5 to 7 alignment jobs per week after the first year. We also anticipate having 6 to 8 vehicles for sale on our lot at some point in the future. While the nature of our work does not require the use of storage of flammable liquids, we will be taking measures to be in compliance with any and all applicable codes, along with recommendations provided by our fire department, of which we have already been working with. We'll be updating our parking lot to eliminate off-site parking. We want to provide ample parking on-site as to promote safety for pedestrian and vehicular movement on West Decorah. Our landscaping plan will be the removal of a dead tree and replanting vegetation and also trees in keeping with our surroundings in the neighborhood. We have a statement regarding any negative impacts on the following issues. We do not believe there will be any negative health, safety, or general welfare impacts on any of the surrounding land due to the distance between our commercial and residential uses. The business will generate much less traffic than other granted by right businesses could generate. We therefore see no meaningful impact on traffic that would create any problems given the relatively low traffic count on Highway 45. All traffic will be entering our parking lot directly from the highway, which will dramatically reduce any additional traffic on West Decorah. No additional signage, lighting will be required. There will be a small light on a new portion of the building. I think by code, you have to have a light over a service door. So we'll have to have an outside light there. But we don't need any signage or anything other than what's already existing on the property or lighting. The nature of our business is of light service work. We do not anticipate generating any appreciable amounts of smoke, smell, or noise. All work will be carried out inside of our building as per the zoning codes currently required. We see no adverse effects to the demand and availability of public services as it pertains to the surrounding area. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Yes. I also have other maps if required.
Could you please clarify when you said access to your property would be from 45? When we viewed that a couple months ago, there was not a driveway going on to 45. So,
Not directly,
Okay.
so it's like
so
there's
it's what
Highway
we saw.
45 in our driveway.
Okay,
So we don't, it's like very immediate into our.
Yeah.
Into our lot.
as we saw it when we viewed it,
Yep,
what
yep.
was existing. Okay, thank you.
And you said there'd be no signage whatsoever, like,
Not,
Garage
we
sign?
have signage facing 45 now. We're not gonna be, we won't need any signage or lighting on what would be the west side where we have a new building going up southwest or east.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not adding anything like that. I apologize for the condition of my voice. So if you don't understand me, just ask again.
So just curious, as far as ownership of a business, what kind of growth goals might you have beyond what you're talking about right now?
As far as like a long range projected outlook,
Yeah, like you're talking about 2 to 3 workers now. I mean, do you have goals to expand the business eventually? You know, any ideas about that?
so that's a really hard question to answer. Only because you never know what's going to happen in business. I mean, it might not even take off. So if it would get much bigger than an anticipated amount of up to after, the first 3 years in business, a couple cars a day, I would almost think, we probably, I mean, that's probably about where we're gonna be at. It's not on a busy intersection. There's not a lot of traffic on that highway. I mean, you kind of are up in the middle of, you're between Oshkosh and Fond du Lac, so. Yeah, I don't anticipate being very busy. It's not gonna be Jiffy Lube or Midas.
And actually, maybe I can help with that,
Yeah.
add on with this question. If you had, what would be the maximum amount of vehicles that you could actually have to be worked on at one time? Utilizing all your space, if you had the workers, I'm not saying you have that right now, I'm just saying, if you had maximum staffing and you had all all your stalls still county vehicles, which you have.
So if you think about it, an easy alignment job is like a couple hour job. With one alignment rack. For a day.
But yeah, I mean, at one time, how many bays would you have? Bays
Well,
you
we're
have?
too wide. We only have one bay for alignment, and then one bay for whatever else we want.
Okay, so as far as expansion goes, you're pretty limited.
Right,
Without
right.
actually
We're,
building a larger.
we're, after we complete our current building, we're done.
Okay,
Yeah.
does that help, Sean?
Yes.
Okay.
That's, I thought that might. Is he here now? No? Or no?
No,
I'm just
I'm
thinking.
gonna ask another question. So I'm counting, you got 2 to 3 employees, let's say they all have a car. And you got a couple customers there for service. And then you might have 7 to 9 cars for sale.
Mhm.
The way I view that, I'm not sure where you're gonna park all those vehicles. So
So
tell me,
we're expanding our parking lot
to the highway?
along
To
the
the
east side
Okay,
and to the south
okay,
to facilitate more parking.
okay,
And in expanding the parking lot, after all the calculations are done with roof line and impervious surfaces, we're still under the 15,000 square feet.
thank you.
I just got another question. As you know, the last time there was quite a few people here and they had a lot of questions and concerns. Did you go and talk to any of the neighbors afterwards or try to work any of this out, or is these
No.
things you've done on your own?
Nope.
That's all the questions we have.
Okay.
Anybody else here who would like to speak on this? Just step forward.
You're about to be able to do the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes,
State your name and address.
Randy Wigner, 6455 West Emporia, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's my understanding at the town board meeting that he was limited to having 5 vehicles on the property. And I believe that was in the code or the whatever the township had written up.
Yeah, why don't I enter this in the record right now? This is the resolution from the town of Black Wolf stating that they have approved with conditions. And the town conditions are, number 1, no additional lighting to be installed with the exception of 1 light over the service door. 2, maximum allowable vehicles is 5 at all times to include employees. 3, business hours of operation to be specified as 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday, closed on Sunday. Number 4, all fluids must be contained pursuant to state laws and regulations. 5, overhead door to be closed when air tools and related equipment are in use. 6, no storage containers allowed. See attached town ordinance. And 7, 1-year reviews be conducted after 12 months in business.
So we have a 5 vehicle.
That was their condition as part of their.
I just wanted to, that's the way I understood that.
Thank you. Anything else? Whoever.
You stop, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the statements you're about to will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
State your name and address.
My name is Leo G. Fleischman II, 6453 US Highway 45. First off, I live adjacent to Paul. I have a few little things that I kind of wrote up. But the first thing I want to explain to you, I have a traumatic brain injury, and sometimes things come out of my mouth that are not very pleasant. And I'm begging for forgiveness before if something would happen like that. I just don't want to offend anyone.
Thank you for letting us know.
Okay, a little bit of my history so that you understand where my end of the work comes from. I'm a retired general contractor. I've done construction of new homes, existing homes, commercial projects, subdivisions. I've dealt with everybody, professionals, all sorts and shapes and forms, bankers. I used to do work for Del Michaels, the guy who used to own, before I passed away, Michaels Pipeline. So I've done my share of stuff, and I've dealt with county boards, town boards and all this stuff, so this is not new information to me, okay? So that just gives you a little history on me, so maybe a little credits to what I kind of have to say. The first thing is to restrict Paul's business. That's not really, I don't think it's legal. The hours, how can you restrict someone's hours of operation? Unless you're the state, you can't sell liquor after 9 o'clock or 2 AM, you gotta close the bars and stuff like that. I can understand that, you can't sell cars on Sunday. But those are the only restrictions I can see that are fair, because otherwise you're just gonna restrict his ability to earn a living. That's what he's gonna do with the parking of cars. How can you restrict it to 5 cars? You got 2 employees, you got 3 cars out in front, can't have a customer, what they're supposed to do. We can park them on West Dakota. We can park all over West Dakota because that's legal to do. I mean, the thing that in West Dakota that I find most abhorrent is the speed limit is 55 miles an hour. That I know for a fact because I talked to the officer that was at the last meeting. There's a change that should be made. If the neighbors are concerned about that. And 5 cars, half the time, the neighbors have more vehicles than that on their property. And they want to restrict his property? I count them, I see them every day. And that just kind of like what I think out of bounds. You know, as far as everything else, I think it's going to be a great improvement to the neighborhood. The building's going to be improved. It's going to be beautiful. The planting situation, the trees and fencing will be a great improvement to the property. And noise, my lawnmower makes more noise than they're supposed worried about the air tools and pneumatic tools and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, can I run my lawnmower? I mean, I'm just making inferences into all this stuff. Driveways, the driveways off of 45, that's safe to go in. That's off of there, 45. The only accidents that have been around that area have been down the road or in front of my house, and it's all been basically due to drunk driving, not people coming to get their car serviced. Let's see, property values. I think our property values will be fine because he's making a large improvement to his property. Traffic concerns, well, we kind of covered that. What else we got? The speed limit. You know, there are the things that I can see is, I know Paul. I've taken the time to actually meet Paul, spend some time with him and understand the project and what his goals are. He's a good steward of his land. I have been involved in many projects, a lot bigger than this, and a lot more complex, and a lot more adventure filled with boards and all this stuff. But this has turned into, you know, a nonsensical adventure. I mean, the man deserves to be able to do business. He needs to be able to do what he wants to do on his property, which is commercial. Nobody's moved any driveways, nobody's sold any property, nobody's done anything except follow that, you know, that has been deemed necessary by the county. My only question I really have, this is for the board, who's really in charge of this? That's a recommendation from Blackwell? That's not a law, is it?
No.
I mean, that is just what they think that we should do, but is Winnebago County in charge of us because we're in the water, lakefront area or whatever it's called?
These are the conditions that their plan commission recommended to the town board. So that's why they included it. It will be up to this committee as to whether or not, if the conditional use permit is approved, that they keep every single one of those conditions. This committee does have the authority to alter or remove the conditions as recommended by the town board.
Yeah, so then in reality, this board
This is
is
the
in charge of us area water.
Correct.
Okay, because that's kind of a convoluted matter.
It is, now keep in mind, they have their own zoning ordinance. That's a separate matter. That's something they enforce. But as far as the conditional use permit required by our department, these are just recommendations that the town will submit.
Okay, I have one other question. Okay, the Winnebago town of Blackwell has a no storage, outside storage. But Winnebago County is legal if you buy a permit. So which one counts?
They both do.
They both.
Yes.
How can that be? It's just like.
They have the authority, they have their own zoning ordinance separate from the county. Whatever they have in there gets approved by their town board, they enforce that. We have a separate zoning ordinance for Winnebago County that we enforce. That makes it any money.
No, it's a muddy mess.
It is.
It's just two things saying the opposite things. Yes, you can, no, you can't. And that is where a lot of this information that has come out is
It's
very hard to understand.
It's
and-
government.
Yeah, well, I understand it's government, trust me. But that's basically, I think it's a great idea, only because I think it will improve the neighborhood. And the other thing is, I have offered personally, because I am involved in the project, I've offered and done several occasions, including our West Decorah page, to anybody wanting to come over and ask questions. I would gladly show them the plans, go over what's gonna happen, who's doing what, why, and how, and nobody bothered. And that's about basically where it is, so, and then we can, rant and rave, but they never came over and asked, or never even bothered to talk to Paul.
Thank you. I believe she did have her hand up before you. Try to keep.
State your name and address. Hannah Sheeler, 352 Rosalia, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I guess, there's just, as you know, been a lot of confusion between Winnebago County and the town of Black Wolf. At the town of Black Wolf meeting, it got a little convoluted, and a lot of the conditions that they had, I guess, recommended were not related to land usage. Having vehicles in the parking lot is not related to land usage. Parking spots is. Setting business hours is not related to land usage. Everything, that goes into it, I guess the landscaping, lighting, all that kind of stuff. So I guess I would just hope that when the board considers it and looks at the recommendation, that the town board was actually, I guess, looking for the interest of neighbors and not necessarily following what the conditional use permit does. Doesn't really follow, I guess, the zoning. Those things aren't land usage, and that's really what we're here to discuss. And then also I just wanted to mention to the neighbors and maybe remind the board that you can't deny a conditional use permit if it fits if he, complies with the ordinances or will comply with it. So even if the neighbors do not like it, that doesn't mean it's not going to get passed, because legally, if he's willing to meet all of the ordinances and is complying with it, it can't be denied. And I guess for clarification, since they're in the Winnebago County zoning, what type of things can the town enforce if he's not in their jurisdiction, I guess?
Everybody in the town of Black Wolf is under the town's jurisdiction. It's just shoreland areas that would come into play.
Okay,
And they have their own adopted ordinance that they enforce.
so is their ordinance, is it specific to land usage, or can they say this many cars can be in a parking lot,
No idea.
Okay, because the whole land usage issue is, that's really what it comes down to, because it's planning and zoning. I do have some experience with that kind of stuff, so I just wanted to make sure that everyone kind of, no matter what is said for neighbors or implied, that he is doing all of his due diligence and making sure that this is a project that will fit the neighborhood, and he is doing his best to keep everyone in the neighborhood as happy as they can. But it is wrong to deny him a right to do business, no matter what they feel. That's all.
Ma'am, what was your name again, please?
Hannah Sheeler.
Thank you.
Is notice for the statements you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? State your name and address.
Hi, I just wanted to say, and I'm just hoping to clarify things, because this has been extremely stressful in the neighborhood. For hopefully everybody involved.
Yeah.
And, it's That one hard thing, Paul never, I wish Paul would have came and talked to us. It got to the point where we didn't even feel like we could come talk to him about it, which is sad. And Leo, who stated, he did show us some plans, talked to him about it. He said, that's the way it is. We really had no say in that. And as you know, probably our driveway is directly across from where the repairs will be done, their driveway. They put a big driveway going into there. It goes, it's 16 feet from our driveway, because the road is only 16 feet wide there, which is pretty not wide as it should be wider than that. And so, yes, we are very concerned about, it's, you know, I get it, it's a business and I wish him very well in his business, but I don't want to end up a Jiffy Lube there and have, and you're saying it's not going to, and I hope it's not, but my concern is the traffic that will be in and out of my driveway. And you know, the property values, you guys said, I have 2 big garage doors looking into my big dining room, looking into my dining room window now. To resale value might be a little harder than it would have been before, I think, you know, and I really hope, I believe it's not even the cars. I'd rather have the cars in his parking lot than parked across my front yard, which I'm sure you understand, and that's what hopefully you're trying to do. I get that. And I really wish you would have came and talked to us, because we probably would have worked with you and talked to you about things and got things solved out. You don't want this hopefully to be a stressful business, do you? I don't want people watching me every move I make. I don't want to watch them every move they make. I have never said that I'm going to turn you in for this or turn you in for that, because I don't want to be that neighbor. I want to live in peace in my lot, not having, and the impact wrenches are very scary for me, because I worked 40 years in factories, loud factories. I retired because I just couldn't do it anymore. And I don't want to have to listen to that all day long, day in and day out. And hopefully you understand that. That mentally, that's hard on me. I can't do that anymore. So you know, that's my concern, is how busy is that going to be in my driveway? That has been my concern all along. I begged that driveway wasn't going to go there. They could have did a little thing and scooped it around right at, you know, on this right off the road there. Hopefully you'll use the front driveway the most. That is my biggest concern, was the driveway where it was positioned. I know he has a business, and I know it's a business there. I knew it was licensed business from the day I bought my property. And we built there, we bought it from his dad. And so it's not that, it's a business there. I just don't want to have a million people driving in and out of my driveway and listening to loud impact wrenches all day. So that's kind of where I'm at. So you have to understand that, you know, this is going to affect my home considerably. Maybe they don't feel that way, but I do feel that way. And I just don't want it to be a stressful, you know, complaint fest to everybody, because I don't want that. I don't want to live like that. So thank you for listening to me. I don't know if it'll make any difference, but hopefully you understand where we're at too.
Reply.
It's like yep. Unless you want to see if there's anybody else that wants to see.
Yeah, I would like to speak. Okay, well, let's get through everybody speaking first of all, and then we'll come back to it again. I think you can take care of it.
Yes.
State your name and address.
My name is Ken Whipple, and I live at 326 West 19th Ave here in Oshkosh. Yes, I'll just make some comments as a casual observer to all this. My family has owned that lot for many, many, many years. My father bought the property in 2009 from my grandfather. The neighbors have been fine to use that property for their will since 2009. They've been happy to park their cars on that in his parking lot when they've had parties. They will not ask, they will just do it. The county itself has actually left cars in his parking lot as well. I mean, there's been car accidents on the scene without his permission or approval. That being said, as a casual observer to all this, someone who isn't engrossed in the day-to-days like you guys are, like he is, I'm very shocked at the viciousness and maliciousness coming from some of the neighbors on West Decorah. My father is not a malicious man. He wants to be left alone. He wants to do his job, and build a business, and get along with people. Some of these comments I've seen coming saying, maliciousness, like there'd be no trespassing signs to ensure the safety of the neighborhood while there's an active construction zone. There's no maliciousness ever involved in that. My father's not that kind of man. I'm very surprised to see this. I guess I'm just flabbergasted that there is no mean-spirited bone in his body. You know, it's my father. I should know that. So yeah, that's all I just wanted to throw out there. So thank you.
Anybody else have anything? It's gonna be some newbie and other people. Mr. Whipple, if you'd like to step forward.
Yep, so I just wanted
Get you
to,
closer to the mic.
I just wanted to, as far as what Patty was saying with, you know, the driveway, our driveway facing her driveway, it is really close. That is not, I apologize again for my voice. That driveway will not be for customers, will not be using that. The customers will be coming in for any repair work. Only myself or an employee will be driving near your property to put cars into our service area. So customers will not be back on West Decorah driving in there up into our, we're not gonna let customers, basically, we're not gonna let anybody other than ourselves drive in our service bays. That's all I had to say.
Since we have you up here, I have a question for you, just kind of following up on some of the things that were said. When they're doing the work on these vehicles, the doors can be open or closed.
If it will be, I have no problems, like one of the conditions, I think is a fine condition where we close doors, you know, if it's gonna be noisy, hammering or impact.
Yeah.
I mean, I see no problem with that. That's perfectly, that's a great,
That would just be being a good neighbor.
I mean, it allows us to get our work done and it won't annoy the neighbors. I know there's noise regulations. I know that they want, in some of the regulations for Black Wolf and the state of the county, they talk about noise A weighted versus C weighted and all that. I did some measurements with A weighted noise equipment as to how loud it actually was. And a 1/2 inch air wrench at 8 feet with the door closed, it's like about 50 decibels. And that was a my crappy original garage door, not our new garage doors, which are a lot better. So if with the doors closed, they're not gonna hear anything.
Well, it'll at least minimize as much as you can.
It definitely.
That's kind of the point I'm kind of bringing across here, where it's something I don't think we should have to tell you what to do.
No, that's and like I was saying, I think that's a perfectly acceptable condition that allows us to get our work done and, you know, helps maintain peace in the neighborhood.
Anybody else? Sean?
So I kind of am disappointed in the reality that I never asked to tour. So the other people toured. Now we have new board members like myself, and can't picture it. So I would like that opportunity, at least for myself, to drive over there, which I can certainly do. Maybe, I don't know what options there are. I don't have a map. I can't picture it.
You can do it on your own.
Sure.
I will get you the address. And that.
Yeah.
Just make sure that at the deliberative, you put that on the record that you did do an onsite. If you,
Okay,
you just need that for the record.
and I can make an arrangement with Mr. Lippold also to look at it and,
You
Or-
can't, no, because
No.
you can't take any additional testimony once this. hearing is
Okay.
closed. So if you want to drive by, that's fine, but you can't engage with the applicant.
I would just like to know if there was a map that I could be looking at to see what the proposed parking lot might be. I just kind of want to, so. Okay,
I
thank you.
have more of those if you.
This one,
I can just take a picture with it off of my phone.
I
Okay,
can get you a copy.
yeah, okay, that'd be great. And then just let me look at my notes here. So that takes care of those questions I had. Am I able to ask another question here to Mr. Whipple? Okay.
Yes.
I understand the feedback about noise.
Mhm.
Have had a lot of experience with, I'm also a business owner. I mean, so I appreciate this opportunity for you. You've already purchased the doors for this. This is all set up already, is that right? This is all
Mostly.
okay. So the doors are purchased on the,
The overhead doors?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I am one of these detailed, highly sensitive maybe people. And I guess the doors being down are just like a big thing for me, huge. I'm very familiar with 50 decibels is to me very loud. So we're all wired differently. And for a homeowner, I absolutely understanding both sides very well. And I feel like an insulated door, in my opinion, depending on what the situation is, honestly, would be something that it's easy for people to rate A-weighted and weighted, but there are people that are really actually sensitive, and knowing what her particular background is something that I don't take lightly, because people can have tolerance and their sensitivities can grow. Very excited for this opportunity, want to support it 100%, but those are just some things that I'll take a look at it. And did you have any feedback?
I bought the best doors I could. There's no thicker insulated door.
Okay,
That's, yeah, so.
okay.
Yep.
And then as far as the storage buildings and then all fluids contained, are they going to be seeing additional things sitting out in front of them without their picture window? Are there going to be barrels?
Not on that side of the property.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. Yeah.
When you said it was 50 decimal, well, you said that was with your old doors, correct?
Yes,
It's not with the new doors.
Okay, so it would be lower with the new doors?
it'd be much lower. My old door on our older building is less than half the thickness.
Okay,
You know, it's a 30-year-old door compared to, you know,
I just, as far as 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., I mean, we just have to understand what others would be experiencing. That's, but I do appreciate that. Thank you.
What we have in there?
I don't have questions. I'm gonna make a statement.
All right.
We, and correct me if I'm wrong, we can deny a conditional use permit. We just have to have reasons.
You have to have findings of fact, and they have to be good, because the conditional use permit is an allowed use within the district.
Correct, but it's not illegal for us to deny one. We have to be very careful when we do that.
Yeah, it's kind of a gray area. I can call Mary and just run that by her.
Then the other option is we can pass a conditional use and we can put some of Black Wolf's conditions on there
You
and
can-
our own,
You can include any or all in addition to your own.
right? Because we've done that in the past on many other
And-
items.
And any town condition you would, it's up to them to enforce.
Correct.
Don't worry, Josh, I see it.
So that's where I'm coming from. So when we get to deliberative, we can put our own conditions on. We can adopt those because we've done that. Ours are nothing out of the ordinary that we've done for other businesses.
In the past, really.
We've always done hours before, so I'm saying you might look forward to those hours showing up when we move forward here. I don't think this warrants denying this, but I haven't thought this all through yet. But again, Black Wolf left this as a commercial zoned property when they redid their maps. So it's been commercial for a long time, correct?
That's my understanding.
And all that we really have to base things on is that 15,000 square feet of impervious surface. Is that correct? Okay. Just trying to clarify
I'll
where,
clarify with the zoning administrator before the delivery.
okay,
Yeah, and
He's got more of a background.
Yep.
I have some more thoughts too, but it appears that we have Josh here who has his hand raised and would like to speak, so.
Raise your right hand.
Can't
We
hear.
can't hear you right now, Josh.
It's out to him.
Can't hear you.
Nope, still nothing, Josh. You can hear us, right?
No.
Guessing, can you hear, you can.
Hello?
Here we go.
Hello? You now?
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the statements you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
State your name and address.
Joshua Gross, 6473 West Decorah Avenue, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, 54902. Okay, I'm okay to talk now? All right. Thank you. Forgive me if I missed the first part of the meeting. I am concerned about this project. I guess I mostly I don't want to rehash everything, but I did have a question about. I know at the town meeting there was originally some talks about having this reviewed every year. I didn't know if that ended up on their final recommendation to the county to have kind of a yearly review of this.
The town on their recommendation with conditions does have a 1-year review. And we will recommend to this committee that they conduct a review in 12 months as well.
Okay, and would that be an indefinite, or would that be phased out after 3 years or 5 years, or how would that work?
It would be up to the committee. And I would think that if they've done a couple of reviews and don't see anything, and our office has not received any complaints, that they could extend that review if they want, or just stop altogether. The committee, our committee is flexible with that.
Okay, thank you. I'd, you know where I stand, but I just wanted to check on that. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Suzanne, can you hear us? If you have yourself muted, if you want to speak. I don't know, if you're just listening.
The promise is on their end.
Suzanne, if you wanted to say anything, you can unmute yourself and speak now, or we'll assume that you didn't want to speak, you're just listening in.
I'd like to know if I can ask, as far as the proposed, the parking area, if there's feedback from the group, if I'm able to ask if there was feedback from the group about whether this was okay.
Well, I actually going to touch on that before.
Okay,
So I guess Suzanne doesn't want to speak on.
as far as I am confused about the 5.
Yeah, and that's
Car
something I
versus-
wanted to get to, something that Hannah had brought up. Can we restrict how many vehicles are allowed on the lot? I know the parking. Is that, and I believe we have the code as far as for how big property is.
You have a hard time with that. And
that's
justifying it with findings of fact. I mean, the hours are one thing. We've done that in the past. But as far as the number of vehicles, and again, I'll consult with the zoning administrator, but,
I mean, I think we could put a limit on how many are out for sale. But it's not primarily a sales property,
Right.
that's something that I dealt with the city, but.
and they didn't get specific as to the limit. They said it includes employees.
It just seems.
And then,
Yeah, that's- How do
I'm
you-
not a business owner, but to me, that sounds like you're handcuffing.
Yeah, how do you sell cars?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm very confused about, you want them to be able to have cars sitting out, but then you only allow 5, so.
You can approve it, but in my non-attorney opinion, I think that would be pretty easily challenged.
And that was kind of the point I was getting at, is I don't think we can really say, well, you can only have 5 total vehicles on your property at any one time. Now, could we say you can only have 5 vehicles for sale at any one time? I think that's what that agree with.
That you could do, and keep in mind, our recommendation is gonna be to review this in 12 months.
Right.
If the number of vehicles there becomes a problem, we can amend the conditional use permit to address it. That's what the review is for, is to address any just issues that come up, but and this is gonna be up to the zoning administrator, but I don't know that that's a defendable condition. I really don't, but again, I'm not interpreting.
I just know when I was doing things, when I was on city plan commission, we had the motorcycle repair place that was downtown. Came through and we were like, we only have so many cycles out for sale, and they're like, yeah, we'll actually pull them in at the end of the day, so they're not gonna be out there 24/7. Whereas with this, I'm guessing we'll be able to, you're not gonna pull them into the garage every night they get for sale. So that's a, it's a different thing, but that's one place where I think municipalities are allowed.
I think this would be overreaching.
But the 5.
Again, I would agree with this, the vehicles out for sale, I think that's defendable, but as far as the overall number of vehicles, including employees, to me, this seems like.
Because I mean, what are the allowed parking spaces for the size of this property that, I mean, do we have that?
I think that's, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I'm sure they're gonna utilize as much as they can. Without, it would meet the minimum at least, and not going over 15,000 square foot, which requires stormwater.
And that's kind of my point is they're allowed these parking spaces.
Right.
Yeah, it's right here,
Yeah,
under
they're
15,000.
allowed the parking spaces by code.
It'll be up to you at the deliberate.
Right. Okay. Anybody else?
But I do think that's a legitimate concern.
Or kind of straight off a little bit there. I guess it's time for you to ask if you have any correspondence or communications.
No additional correspondence other than the town of Blackwood.
Okay. So we can just determine here. This is where I have, anybody else that wants to, anybody else that wants to speak on this item that hasn't already spoken? Anybody else have any comments from the committee? Okay, and now I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Also moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Articles would be